And welcome back. And of course, I'm Michael, and you're listening to Depict Me on Depictions Media podcast and blog system. And as we're building a network of journalists, broadcast journalists, it's becoming a lot of fun and a lot of work. So, as you know, we talked earlier about maintaining oneself and doing maintenance on your equipment. And of course, if you're a coach or broadcast journalist, things like that, there's parts of your body that you need to find time to rest and maintain. Anyway, so the other day I was at the bank, and I always go to the same exact branch. And the reason why I always go to the same branch is because you develop relationships with people, and a lot of times it makes it easier to streamline what you have to do at the bank. The business, they kind of know your accounts already, and it just makes it that much easier to get some things done. So I'm at the bank, and I actually needed to was getting money to make a purchase at a local camera store for some new equipment, lenses and things like that. And I asked about one particular lady who was pregnant, and she's about maybe, let's say 8 months pregnant or so. I guess she's due to give birth in about a month. So I was asking how she's doing, and just doing the general check-in thing, because hey, you kind of, when you start building relationships with people as you're doing business with them, they also become friends. And depending on the dynamics of the relationship, how close of friends do they actually get to become, So, and I found out, of course, that she's about to go on maternity leave and all that kind of stuff, so she's really close to giving birth. And I told the lady who was there waiting on me that it's like, I've been coming to this branch since they actually opened, and the reason is because they always seem to maintain their smiles. It makes it easy to keep going back and build relationships with people when they're friendly, right? And she's like, thank you. She's like, you've been coming here before I actually got moved to this branch. And she got moved from a very busy branch that is more metropolitan, and she likes being at this particular branch because you get to know more people, and she likes building the relationship. She said the thing about the busier branch was a little harder to build relationships with people, but you got to build really cool relationships with the people that you worked with, and the occasional customer. So I just went into it, and I said, it's so important. I think people forget about this, they're so busy trying to make a dollar that they forget that business is really about two people coming together, and that dollar is kind of the byproduct of the relationship. And it isn't the the dollar part of doing business isn't the end all be all of doing business. The relationship is really what is the end all be all of business, because the relationship is about passing a value. And you're doing something to help the other person out, and they're doing something to help you out. And between those two helping out, that's where the dollar comes from. And I think a lot of people forget that. And I was saying that in the bank, and of all places, the epicenter of commerce in your community is, of course, usually a bank. And of all the places to say something that may have been a little less than capitalist, and then to have people really listen. There's other people in the bank, and they really listen, and they agreed with me that, yeah, the point of doing business is really about the relationships and, helping each other out, and allowing that byproduct of that helping out to be money, making a dollar. So it was a pretty cool thing. So with that, I'm going to be working some things out, and I'm going to actually maybe the relationship building thing, turn it into a talk, not just a rant here on the Influencer Club podcast and radio show. Not just a rant here, but I'm actually going to turn it into a talk. So it's something to look forward to in the next few months, especially if you're living in the Vancouver, BC, Surrey, BC area, that I'm going to start doing talks about building relationships with the intention of producing a certain value, so that both parties walk away with a specific value, and that value to be agreed upon while building the relationship. So I just thought it would be a really cool idea. So if you're, of course, while you're listening to this, there is a way to leave me a comment, especially if it winds up in a blog post or on YouTube or something like that. It's real easy to leave comments. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about doing a business talk about building relationships, so that we build lasting relationships with the intention of passing value and money back and forth. The intention, of course, first would be to build the relationship. Because I do a lot of networking, right? And what I notice out of people is they do this premature ask of a sale. You don't even know who you're talking to. You don't know what their needs are. You don't know what their emotions are. You don't know anything about them at all. And yet you think it's okay to ask for a sale. Well, this is what I do. Can I help you with that? Well, you don't know me. And I don't really know you. So how and why would I want to purchase? Let's build a relationship and then see how the pieces fit together so that we can work together. Actually, in the process of working with working that out with someone else, it's like I'm trying to woo them into a relationship. She is an expert on sponsors. It's like, are you kidding me? Media relations and sponsors, they kind of go hand in hand, don't they? But I just meeting this person. So I don't want to ask her for a sale right off. I don't want to ask her, hey, let's let me build you a podcast or a TV show, and here's what it's going to cost. No, I don't want to do that. I want to build a relationship. I want to find out, a little more about her. Where did she come from? How did she wind up doing sponsorships? How did she get to be the expert on this? And build into things. Find out more about the person. Find out maybe a hobby or two that you might share. Maybe some other networking groups and opinions on those other networking groups that you might attend to. Here's a good one. How they like their coffee. What kind of fixings do they put in their coffee? Do they put cream and sugar in coffee? Do they drink it black? Wait, maybe they don't like coffee. Maybe they prefer chai tea lattes. And that would be the whole point of doing this talk, is that you start to learn, and hopefully you're learning from some of these rants I do and the stories that I tell, that building a relationship is way more important than just trying to make a sale. I'm not saying the sale isn't important, because we all got to pay rent and services we have to pay for and all that kind of stuff. But we need to prioritize the relationship before we move forward with the sale. And that is my rant for the day. You guys all have a great weekend. Do something fun with the family. For those of you who have kids, take them to a park, throw them up in the air, let them enjoy the spring air. All right. So I will talk to everybody later on. See you Monday, and bye for now.